Welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Lives. And today I thought it would be fun to take you through a presentation, although you won't be seeing it, you'll be hearing it. A presentation I did for my students in the second half Spark School. You won't get the whole thing because I did a tutorial on how to do a vision board, a virtual vision board, using some free software that I love. And one thing I love about virtual vision boards is that you can print them out. You can print out as many as you want, put them all over your house, copy them to your desktop screensaver, your phone screensaver. So they're always front and center to you, your vision board. You know, the duplicates are everywhere, but it's one vision board. So you won't get that piece, but if you know how to do photo editing software, then you'll be fine. And you can also go on YouTube and find people who share that stuff for free. But I'm going to give you kind of the reason why vision boards are important and what you should be putting on your vision board. The reason why I'm passionate about the whole visioning process, it's not necessarily just vision boards. They're a piece of the vision puzzle, but I'm passionate about it because I spent most of my life never having a vision. All I did was I was a workaholic and I went to my job, and my only vision was that of the corporate mission and making sure that I helped bring the company's mission to light, that the objectives of the company were met by the work I did. And I didn't have any personal desires or other than wanted to make money, but ultimately money is not going to make you happy. It's the things you do with the money that make you happy. So other than let's get a nice house, let's get some nice cars, let's make sure our kids are fed and they're happy. But it was very limited. And I did not dream about possibilities. I did not even read anything about how I could learn that aspect of, manifestation, of how to bring things that you didn't see as possibilities in your current reality, but how that they could really become true. You create your reality. I know that now. And so if you're not thinking about any future reality that you want, if you're not thinking about, um, the what you might think are impossibilities, well, they'll never be possibilities, right? They'll never come true if they're not even in your mind. And I love the sports analogy because visioning is used a lot in sports and professional athletes. And the professional athletes that tend to, like the Olympians that are standing there getting the gold medal, I think of Tiger Woods. I know he has used visioning a lot, but the people, and Michael Jordan, I mean, these great athletes that we all know and respect, they saw that basket going in at the buzzer of the championship game. They saw that golf ball going into the hole at the big championship game. They saw themselves standing on that podium and accepting the gold medal. They lived that in their mind of seeing that medal put around their neck, of hearing the music of their country playing. There's nothing I don't love any more than the Olympics, and watching the achievement of these people who have put their everything into their passion of whatever sporting activity it is, and seeing that culmination. But many of those people who get there to that podium have seen it in their mind before. So a vision board is part of the process that if you want something, if you desire something, so I have to catch myself because I still go back to that word a lot, but now I know I can catch it when I say it most of the time, if I'm being conscious about what I'm saying. So the things you desire, because desire is about wishing. If you listen to that episode, that's episode 65, the one simple word switch that can shift your subconscious out of lack and into abundance. So that's where I talk about replacing want with desire. So the things on your vision board are what you desire, not what you want, because want will imply lack. And you want just to feel this abundance around your vision board. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through what I shared about vision boarding. I would love for you to create an action item as a result of this episode. So homework for you is to do a vision board and then share it with me. Put it online, either, I don't know if you use Instagram or Facebook, but post it and tag me. And if you're too embarrassed, sometimes our vision boards are like way out there and maybe we want to be a little bit more private about them, but send me a message. Send it to me via private message. I would love to see it. I love to see that I inspired you to do that. It's so important. I cannot stress to you how important it is to put your dreams down so you can see them and you visit them every day in your mind. All right, so why are vision boards important? Because they help with the setting of goals. Goals and visions are different, and I'll talk about that in a second. But vision boards are your visual reminder of your dreams. You can't just do them. That's another mistake that people make is they do vision boards, then they put them somewhere where they never see them. They don't visit them on a daily basis. So you need to keep your dreams front and center. The difference between a dream and a goal is that dreams are actually about seeing the experience of what you desire, not about how to get there. We get caught up in the how. That's just our human brain. Our logic brain sets in and says, well, I can't have that until I know how to get there. But that's not true because the universe will work for you when it knows what you desire. So you don't need to know the how. A dream is a state of mind marked by abstraction or release from current reality. That's what a vision is. It's notable for its beauty, excellence, or enjoyable quality. The things that are on your vision board should give you a feeling of joy and make you just put you in the state of feeling happy. And better put, I guess, as a state of belief. That's what your vision board, when you put it in your mind, you have to have this belief that it is done. It's just a matter of time before it arrives and that you experience it in your human existence. So belief is a big part of visioning, but you need to first put it down to see it. Goals are the steps required to make that dream your reality. So goals are more of a structure around. Dreams are just fluid. The other thing I love about virtual vision boards is that you continue to update them. So you might sit down on a day and put together a list of things that you desire on a piece of paper. But then, because once you start thinking about this, your intuition starts really humming along. It's like you wake up this spirit inside of you. And so once you start dreaming, the dreams don't stop. So keep putting things on your vision board as they come up. And that is amazing to continue to dream and not just have some box around your dreams that you can't dream anymore. So of course you can dream. You can keep dreaming, keep adding. The more things you dream, the more things that are possible, and the better your life will be when they become a reality, when you start experiencing them. And so the goals are the structure around your dreams. Dreams need systems and processes to facilitate intentional action. So a lot of us, and I talk about this in my workshops, we go around, and I know this because this was me, we go around flailing through life. And then we fail and we believe it's failure. I know now it's not failure, but we flail and fail when really, if you have some intentional action and then you have a different perspective about failure, you treat it as lessons, then you have intentional actions and lessons. And that's the stepping stones to your dreams. So it's almost just a perspective shift. Having intention in what you do, and then changing your perspective on failure. So yes, goals are the structure. So goals accompany dreams, but dreams have to come first. And a lot of times that's why goals don't, like, people write down goals and they won't reach their goals, and they'll get frustrated because they don't reach their goals. And it's because they don't have the dream behind it, right? If you know what that dream is, and then you have a goal that is structure to get there with intentional action, then yes, that's what will happen. The universe will start bringing things to you. Your brain will start to be much more aware and see things that it wouldn't normally see. If you don't have dreams, the brain doesn't know what to look for. So now you have dreams, and then you set some goals, some intention around the actions you're taking. And the action might not even be like a complete step by step to get there, because you still don't know. You're still just navigating this new dream, right? But then things will start to come and clarity will come over time. So dreams first, goals, and which is really intentional action, but you don't have to know all of the steps and the how. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of a dream and a goal. So, sharing rekindled love stories with the world and providing hope. That is a dream that I've had and I'm just going to use my own dream as an example, is I had this dream of writing a book and sharing these midlife rekindles, because I have that story, and every time I share it, somebody says, you got to write a book, you got to write a book. And then it came to me because I thought, well, I don't want a book all about just me. And I thought, oh my gosh, there's other stories. My aunt rekindled, and she, at 50 years old or 52, got back together with her sweetheart from her early 20s. So she's an example. She might be in my book, but there's lots of rekindled love stories. And so that was my dream, is to, and it doesn't have, like I said, it doesn't have to be real concrete. It can be a little bit wispy. That's what dreams are. And then the goal, that is more of the structure around that dream, is to write my first book. And I even have a title for it, Not Your Average Loves. So isn't that cool? Lines up with Not Your Average Lives and Not Your Average Grandma. So it just came to me. And so that's what happens when you start to dream these dreams, then clarity comes. You start to get the how to do it. Now, I don't even know where to begin to write my first book, right? So I did just start by joining a new group for accountability. So, those are the little things that come, like a goal. Then you have to get more specific about your goal. Like, what are the milestones? So that's where the planning process comes in. I sit down, I say, okay, this is my goal. Now, what's the project plan to get there? So, dreams and goals are just kind of the starting points. Okay, so the difference between visualization and visioning, and this is a really great concept, because we kind of use these terms interchangeably. Like uh, visualization is visioning, you might think, but there is one distinct difference. Visualization utilizes the power of the imagination, but it's a doing process. It's action based because you are doing something, whether it's seeing the desired result in your mind's eye or creating a dream board with pictures of what you desire. So it's actually a process of doing and putting your dreams down on paper, and then on a daily basis, reviewing and looking and knowing, just reminding yourself of what your dreams are. Visioning utilizes the power of intuition. It's a being process. So it's a state of being. It's achieved through an inner direct perception of what is desired to be known from the subtler dimension of reality. So basically, visioning is when you tap into that inner spirit that has the desires that you might not even know exist yet, because you're so busy being busy. You're so busy on the hamster wheel of life. And I only say this because I was there and I know it. So you're so busy being busy, you're in a constant doing state, doing the next task, doing the next activity, doing. And that keeps our mind very, very busy, and it keeps our mind from dreaming. Being is when you get into that state of bringing those dreams into that reality inside your head. So you're in the state, it's the state of belief. It's the state of knowing that it is done. It's the state of knowing and believing that your visions are just a matter of time before they arrive. When you do these things and you start to create your vision board and you start to review your vision board, just remember that it's a doing process. You still need to be in the state. I say it's like the Lifetime movie in your head. even when you're visualizing that in your head, that's a doing state. So a being state is kind of like turning off the world and going within. And you can use dreams. And I just talked about this with a guest on one of my episodes, Louise Wilson. You can ask questions before you go to bed at night and you can even write it down and put it under your pillow. And you can ask the question of, something, ask your subconscious. And then you're in that state. You're in a being state when you're going to sleep, and visions can come to you. That's your intuition speaking to you. So visualization and visioning are the difference between doing and being. Hopefully I explained that well enough so you can understand that. All right. During visualization, you project into the universe your desire for specific objects, conditions, or outcomes to manifest. That's visualization. You picture them and do it in as much detail as you can in your mind's eye. So say you aspire to have some different career, and maybe it's a renowned book author. Let's continue with the book example. A demonstration of these desires in your head provides factual evidence that intangible thought energy, which are basically thought energy, are mental images, right? Condenses into tangible form through a creative principle that can be consciously activated. So you basically, what this is saying is that you are imagining in your mind, you're seeing this, you've created these mental images through the visualization process, and you've created them to be this tangible thing. It becomes so real in your head, and it becomes consciously activated ultimately. Whereas visioning enables you, the practitioner, because that's what you are now, you're a practitioner of your visioning, to receive a direct impress upon consciousness through intuition. So it comes to you through this, it pops into your head. Intuition is a direct knowing without the use of an intermediary. So like an intermediary is like a tool. I mean, it can be a tool, it can be a person, like you can go to a psychic or something. That's a tool, right? But like a vision board is a tool. So that's an intermediary that you're using and you're doing it, right? But intuition is this knowing, the sense of absolute belief that this will come true without even doing anything. I mean, you'll need to do intentional action. Ultimately, you can't just sit there and all the things will come to you, but you have to have this sense of knowing and belief, because if you don't believe it's true, then you have all this lack of faith. If you have this disbelief, those things will be sending out to the universe a message that you don't want this stuff. If you don't believe it, it wants you to believe. It also wants you to be very happy with what you have. And that's what the state of abundance is. So belief and abundance are the state. So that's where visioning comes in. So I love this quote: imaginations that persist in the mind end often by self-fulfillment. Individual thought formations can actualize themselves if there is sufficient strength in the formation of the mind that forms it. In fact, all imaginations represent possibilities. That quote is by Sri Aurobindo, and he's an Indian philosopher. What he's saying is that if you imagine it, it's possible. Your soul would not even bring it up. It would not become a conscious thought if it wasn't possible. So everything that your imagination, that anything that comes up from imagining, from the dreaming process, it represents possibilities. It represents a reality that is possible in your world. That's what your intuition is. And that is the being state. So what should go on a vision board? I love to just think of these things as bucket list items. When you think of a goal, you think this is achievable, and your brain automatically goes to achievable, right? This is a goal. It might be a stretch goal, but I believe I can do it. Bucket list items are kind of these dreams that if I ever could, before I die, I'd love to do this. When we hear bucket list, we're more apt to think that this might never be possible for me, but I would love to do it if I could. When you think of goal, you think it's always around like, do I have the skills to do this? Do I have the money to do this? And it's all like check yes, check yes. But with bucket list items, those things don't enter your mind. So with a vision board, what I would like you to think about when you do it is, well, what I want you to not think about is what I should say is money or skills or knowledge. Think all of that you have. None of it is out of the realm of possibility. So anything that comes up in your head, whether you have the money, whether you have the current circumstances, whether you have the current wisdom or knowledge or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you want it, put it on your vision board. Oh, if you desire it, see? If you desire it. And by the way, put desire on there as a word, because I think desire is just something we need to imprint in our mind to always remind ourselves that this is what you desire. It's a wish, and wishes can come true. You can bring them into your reality. So desires of the heart with no timelines. Don't worry about putting timelines. I used to put timelines on my vision boards until I learned through reading about this process is that timelines can limit you. When you put a timeline down, it's almost like putting a box around something like, okay, you can't have it before then. And I thought, wow, that is so true. To think that it's not possible to have something until a certain timeline, that's only you feeling like it's not possible yet. And you can't make that call because the universe can bring it to you a lot faster than you think is possible. So don't put timelines around things. Try to avoid them as much as possible. I do teach my students to do short-term visions and long-term visions. You tend to, when you do a longer-term vision, it's like, oh, I can dump a ton of stuff out in a 5-year vision. Whereas my 1-year vision, more of my realistic, like logic brain sets in. But everything that's on your short-term vision and your long-term vision should be on your vision board. Everything. And forget the timelines around it. Pictures that show what future you want. The thing that I love about the virtual vision boards is that you can Google any picture. That's fun. As I said, let yourself dream. Let yourself spend time Googling pictures. You need that vision in your head. Have you heard the stories from people who said, I manifested this house. I saw myself in this kitchen. I saw myself in this backyard. It's exactly as I had dreamed of. And you've, I'm sure, experienced deja vu. As much as you can, if you have a car you want, and and right now it's beyond your financial means, go test drive it. Go test drive it and get in it. See where the controls are. Smell it. What does it feel like driving it? Heck, you might even I had a car once that I was interested in and I went and test drove it and I was like, this is so uncomfortable. I would never buy this car. So if I had that car on my vision board, then I went and test drove it when I was ready to buy it. That would have been a big disappointment. So you want to put yourself as much as you can, go on the real estate websites and look for houses, do the virtual tours, have that lifetime movie in your head of what that future is that you want. And then use quotes that inspire you and affirmations that reinforce that experience that you want. So affirmations, and I'm a big stickler in affirmations because I did them wrong for a long time. So affirmations are always in the present as if they are done. What you want to say is, I am a best-selling author. Whatever that is that you desire, but it's as if it's happened already. So whatever that is, whatever your soul desires, but it's a state that you want to be living from in the future. And the other thing, which is a great tip, which I had not used in the past, but did use on my most recent vision board, is a recent manifestation. Something that did come true, a dream you had that did come true. And that gives the mind a little proof. So it's just a really great technique to instill that belief that you need, that everything on that vision board is possible. So go to work, create your vision board. I would recommend you sit quietly and just journal and brainstorm a huge list of bucket list items, just a huge list of list items, and just dream away. Remove any hint of, I can't have that. I don't have the money for that. I don't have the skills for that. Heck, if I want to be an author, I've never written a book. And when I read books and I sink myself into them, I think sometimes, wow, this author is so good. She just put me right in that experience. And I'm like, I don't have all those words in my vocabulary, but that's not going to stop me from wanting to write a book. I just know that I'll get what I need if I desire it, if I desire to do that. And I have great intention to make the world a better place behind that. Because ultimately, all your dreams will make the world a better place because you're going to be living from a more lit up spirit, right? And so, yeah, everything that you think that comes up for you from your intuition is an absolute possibility for you. So remove any perceived obstacles that come up for you. This is an obstacle-free exercise. So dream away and have fun. And let me know how it goes. I'd love to see your vision board. Thank you so much for tuning into the Not Your Average Lives podcast. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe on iTunes if you have an Apple device. You can find free resources and learn what else I have going on at the moment that might interest you on my website at notyouraveragegrandma.com. You can also find me on Instagram or Facebook at Not Your Average Grandma. If you liked this episode, it would make my heart so happy if you could leave me a 5-star rating. You can also add a review to let me know what you like about this podcast, which will help spread the word about it to others who need a little midlife inspiration. As always, be you, listen to your inner voice, and focus on reigniting that lost spark so you can start living your own Not Your Average life.